welcome back to a brand new movie review on the channel today. And today, I am going to be talking about the critically acclaimed The Fabelmans. Now, this film was directed by Steven Spielberg, the absolute legend, and it stars such people such as Gabriel LaBelle, Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, and Seth Rogen. And this film is about the Fabelmans, a Jewish family, and it more centers around their kid. And the kid watches a movie and he starts to become obsessed with them. And it's basically his journey throughout his life, learning about films and making films. This film could honestly kind of be considered almost like a biopic in a way to Steven Spielberg's life, but not really. They don't refer to him as it's not him, but is heavily based upon Steven Spielberg's experiences and his growing love for film in his childhood. Now, I watched this movie a couple days ago because now, since it's Oscar season, my theater seems to be getting all these Oscar-worthy movies and all these big movies this year that honestly we would have never gotten if they weren't nominated, which is still so crazy to me. But I got the chance to see it, and I want to make a review of it because I really like this movie. This is a really good movie in my opinion, and I have some thoughts about it because I think everyone kind of knows already that it's getting all this buzz. It's up for, I believe it's up for Best Picture, which I think 100% it deserves to be there because there are a lot of really great things about this movie, but I have some things to say I would like to give in this review. Now, the first thing I want to say is the cast absolutely carries this movie. They're all amazing in this movie. Michelle Williams is fantastic. Paul Dano is freaking awesome. I loved his performance. And even Seth Rogen in here, I was actually shocked. He was actually a pretty good actor. And there are other good actors spread throughout the film that I really enjoyed. But definitely the big takeaway actor here is Gabriel LaBelle. I freaking love this kid. He was such a great actor. He was so charismatic. And you honestly just wanted to give him a hug. You saw his journey and his love for film progress through the film. And it honestly really just made you feel good. This is a really good pick-me-up movie, I think. It's insanely good, and it's extremely wholesome and heartwarming, and has such great scenes with him, especially his character. When he's making these movies, they are wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. And also, those scenes where he's making movies are the best parts of the movies. They are visually stunning, and that brings me to my next thing. This movie is absolutely gorgeous. Steven Spielberg directed the shit out of this movie. Every shot looks wonderful. It's just such a visually stunning movie. I really liked a lot of the scenes that they went for. It just was so nice. Especially these scenes where he's making these movies, like the kid is making these movies. I loved those scenes so much, and they genuinely made me sit back and think about what I want to do, which I want to make movies as well. And it actually gives you a whole new perspective, and it just gives you even bigger love for filmmaking. And I really liked that aspect of the movie. If it made me sit back and go, I have good ideas. Why haven't I tried making a movie yet? It's kind of crazy to me, but this movie really showed just the true passion that goes into filmmaking, and I just adored it for that. It was such a great premise. Another thing too I want to say is the chemistry between all these actors is absolutely wonderful. They all feel like a genuine family, and that's really hard to do in some films where you don't want it to feel forced. You want it to make feel genuine, like these people would actually be in a family. But that is a big hurdle you have to jump through, and I think they nailed it in this movie. They feel so genuine, like they're all part of this really big, wholesome family, and I love them all the way through. And also the main drama, besides the actual film-going part of this movie, I thought was interesting. As much as I wasn't expecting it, I wasn't a huge, big fan of it, I still really enjoyed the chemistry in those scenes, and it made for some really, really emotional moments that I really enjoyed. And like I said, they were just they got at your heartstrings. They definitely pulled at your heartstrings, and I didn't cry in this movie. I definitely didn't cry, but there were certain scenes where it was pretty sad, and I really enjoyed the emotional performances by all the actors. All the actors did amazing when it came to the emotional performances, and I really liked that. But honestly, this is just a really good movie all around. So when I go into my negatives, I've kind of already said one of my negatives about this movie, but I only honestly have one negative, and that is the side plots. Now, like I said, this movie isn't entirely about this kid and his filmmaking career. It is a big highlight of the film. It is definitely the most prevalent storyline in the film, but there are other storylines that do happen in the movie, and I can't say that they're bad, but they're definitely less interesting than that point of the movie. And I really wish they focused more time on that film-going perspective and his journey throughout the movie, because there are some times where it tries to focus a little bit too much on the parents, which I still think the parents are great characters. I really enjoyed Paul Dano and Michelle Williams' performances as them, but I feel like it kind of overlooked the film-going part of the movie that I thought was the best part of the movie. And I honestly don't really feel like it was necessary for them to go in that certain direction. Like, it was really good for character building, and I really liked that aspect of it. But I more wanted to see the film-going stuff, because honestly, that stuff was just magical in this movie. It made you feel so good, and I was just wanting more of that. And when I went to the other stuff, it was still a good movie, and I was still genuinely, like, entertained, and I was invested, but I still wanted to see that stuff more. That might be more of a nitpick more than anything, but I still really enjoyed that aspect, and I wish there was more of that, rather than these B-plots that were happening at the same time, that it just wasn't getting as sucked into as that. But honestly, that's all I have to say about this movie. This is a really good movie. It's not Steven Spielberg's best movie by any means. I still think there are other movies that are way better, but this is still a really great movie. It's an emotional gut punch. It's so wholesome. It's such a pick-me-up movie. It's such a great watch, I think. Just go watch this movie. It's a wonderful movie. It's going to make you feel good, and that's why I'm going to give The Fabelmans a 9 out of 10. It is a wonderful experience that I highly recommend watching. But anyways, if you liked this review and wanted to see more on the channel, please like and subscribe down below for more content on the channel coming pretty damn soon. It shows that you're actually watching these videos. But I will see you all next time. See ya.